It's the best of Mac Show Live, now featuring our Mac Gaming segment. Listen different.
In our phone room, we have Peter Cohen and the senior producer for Blizzard Software, Bill Roper. Gentlemen, how are you?
Excellent. Great, thank you. Bill, thank you very much for coming on the Mac Show. I know it's been kind of it's been a fun time trying to coordinate between your schedules and ours to get you on the show, so we're really delighted to have you on tonight.
Well, we're really excited to be here. Yeah, we're getting really busy gearing up for a new product announcement in about 2 weeks, and also just kind of still reeling in the excitement and success of Diablo 2 and the expansion while working on War 3. It's a busy, busy time at Blizzard.
Indeed, indeed. So there's going to be a new product announcement in the next few weeks?
Yes, we're actually making a new product announcement at the European Consumer Trade Show in London on September 2nd.
Now, I've noticed in the past, Blizzard always has a very prominent display at ECTS, which is really kind of unusual because, ECTS is definitely a smaller show. It's not like an E3 or anything like that. Why does Blizzard have such a prominent presence at ECTS?
ECTS for us is just such a fantastic opportunity to get our message out, especially when we're doing new product announcements. Also, all the press is there from all over the world, and so many of our customers are there, and fans of the products are there. I kind of have lost the ability to understand why companies have been choosing not to go to ECTS. They definitely aren't neglecting the European and Asian markets. They're having their own events, but ECTS is just such a fantastic venue for us to go and really reach our entire global audience with our products and message.
Now, I imagine we're not going to get any details out of you tonight about what this new product announcement is.
No.
But are you prepared to tell us whether or not this is something that will be supported on the Macintosh also?
I can certainly tell you is that, we have always looked forward to working very hard with our own internal team of Mac developers, with Apple, and, though we aren't really saying anything at this point about anything for the next couple of weeks, I think that a pretty strong statement was made when we've told people that Warcraft 3, for example, is shipping simultaneously, and Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, the expansion for Diablo 2, also was a simultaneous Mac and PC shipment. So we're very dedicated to our Macintosh customers.
Indeed, and let's talk a little bit about the recent release, well, not so recent anymore, but the most recent release from Blizzard, which is, of course, the Diablo 2 expansion set, Lord of Destruction. This is, of course, an expansion set that requires you to have Diablo 2 to play, but, it's really kind of interesting. The press that has been, the reviews that have hit so far on this particular release have really kind of pointed to Lord of Destruction as an example of the way that an expansion pack is supposed to be done. And I'd agree with that, after having played it as long as I have, because it incorporates not just new things to find and new stuff to do, but it really kind of changes the nature of the game from the way it was originally done. Can you talk a little bit about that and what sort of what Blizzard's focus was in creating Lord of Destruction?
One of the focuses, and I think really the main focus with Lord of Destruction for the development team, was really to take every aspect that we could of Diablo 2 and just refine it and enhance it, make it bigger, more fun, and to definitely have that feeling that when you did go out and, kind of lay your money down for that expansion set, that you weren't just getting a couple of extra items and areas to go, that we gave you entire new character classes and a new act and thousands of new items, and really even beyond all that, kind of a new way to play. We didn't do anything that made your character obsolete, but at the same time, we really wanted to open up a lot of new strategies and abilities for players that maybe they'd even overlooked. And so I think that based on the feedback we've had from our customers and the reviews that we've seen, we feel we were very successful in that, and I'm really excited by the fact that it's being so well received. It was something that we really tried to do even as far back as with Brood War, which is the expansion for StarCraft, and we kind of took that as a cue with Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, making sure that the game had an entirely new life breathed into it when the expansion released.
Now, this is the first game in Blizzard's history that has been released simultaneously on the same day for the Mac and PC. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And how did that come about? Is that because your Mac development team is in-house now, or how is that managed?
We actually had a couple of fortunate things happen between when Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction came out. Our time between the PC and Macintosh versions on Diablo 2 was very short, just a matter of weeks. With the expansion set, we were able to actually utilize a lot of that hard work we'd done with the foresight of potentially doing an expansion at some point to make the transition over to Macintosh and that development easier. Also, at the same time, we actually brought that Macintosh team, which had been working third party for us. We finally were able to persuade them to all come work for us and be in our offices. And the fantastic part about that is they're now working side by side with the PC development team and making sure that the transition is as smooth and quick and easy as possible, which is why we're really excited that we're going to be able to actually do Warcraft 3, which is a huge, major product, day one coming out for both the PC and the Macintosh.
And let's talk a little bit about War 3. This is a game that I saw at E3 this past May, and it's been shown off publicly since then. What can you tell us about it? It seems to be a very different direction from what War 2 is all about.
I think we're really going to be seeing with Warcraft 3 kind of a merging of real-time strategy, and the game is a strategy game as its main focus, but then kind of merging some of the elements of role-playing games, things like having heroes that build up levels and have skills that they can put points into, and gaining items that they can use on the battlefield, and also to just enhance their character. Really taking the focus away from having the vast majority of the game be done in town with kind of a resource management model, and then building just hundreds of units and throwing them at the other guys. StarCraft is very much that type of game. Warcraft 3 will focus much more on smaller groups, on utilizing spells and abilities of units and of the legendary hero units, and really almost more of a 50-50 split. There will be that resource management, that building up of a technology tree that people kind of really come to love, but at the same time, we really want to focus people's attention and gameplay on commanding more powerful units, and so people really are pulled away from being who can resource the most as being the winner, but more towards who is the best tactician is then given the victory.
Now, I know a lot has been made over the years about hybrid releases, as you guys are wont to do, sticking a Mac and PC version in the same box, and how that affects accounting, figuring out who is using what platform. What mechanisms does Blizzard use to figure out what the split is between Mac and PC users?
For us, it's actually a fairly new development. For many, many years, we actually had separate SKUs or boxes in the stores where we had the PC version and the Macintosh version, even if they were a hybrid disc. We found, though, that a lot of the retail chains, for sake of wanting to have more product on a limited amount of square footage in the store, are the ones that really have led us in the direction of putting the hybrid box out. Now, we do know when we sell in, a lot of times, what their ratios tend to be in sales, but really more importantly for the Macintosh, so much of that is direct sales and is not really necessarily done through the storefronts. And we've really seen just a massive amount of feedback from that. And also, we have a very vocal community of Macintosh gamers, so I would think it would be very difficult for us to ever give up the Macintosh market.
So speaking of direct sales, what do you think of the new initiative with Apple's retail stores? Do you think that that's a move in the right direction to get software like yours into the hands of gamers?
I think it's great. I think anything that Apple can do specifically to help out developers. They've always been really good about working with us from a code side and supporting products and opening their Cupertino plant open for us to come up and do testing and compatibility. And now for them to really be making a very strong direction in terms of the retail chain and channel, I think it's fantastic. And I've always wanted the Macintosh to just continue growing in popularity, and I think this is a way that they're going to really do an excellent job of getting their products into gamers' hands.
Thanks very much to Bill Roper, senior producer for Blizzard Software, and Peter Cohen. Gentlemen, thanks very much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Have a good night. You're listening to The Mac Show.